Coffee Talk with Christelle. Welcome to December 11th. This is my month, the month of December, my birthday, celebrations. Why do I like to celebrate my birthday? We'll probably talk about that in my fifth topic. So, as you know, if you're new to my Thursday Talk with Christelle, I cover about four topics that are markets and mortgage related. And then we go into what I call my mystical time with Christelle. Um, if you are joining me from my YouTube, you're probably seeing The Alchemist. So that's a little bit of mystical one. If you are on my Facebook, you are probably, do I post anything of my travels? But let's first start with what's big in the news right now, what everybody's going to start talking about if they haven't already messaged. So the Fed just cut rates again for the third time this year. But here's what nobody is really telling homeowners with equity. So this is for my homeowners with equity. So let me start first with the big news because every headline yesterday or today is talking about it. Fed cut rates the third time this year. There's divided Fed lower rates to signal pause next year. So people are having divided conversations about it. And another, this is like from ABC News, Reuters. Please do not shoot the messenger as to where it's coming from. This is all information I'm getting. Financial Times says Fed cuts to a 3-year low after a fractious meeting. And AP News says Federal Reserve cuts rates, sees healthier economy next year. So here's my translation. The Fed reduced the federal fund rate to 3.5 to 3.75. And the committee was split. So meaning not everyone really agreed. Some went to pause, some want to keep cutting. So everyone wants to watch inflation and jobs very closely. But what does that really mean for you as a homeowner or someone waiting on the sideline? It means we are officially in transitional market again. How fun for us lenders, transitions to transitions, but everything is always moving. And transitional markets create a window or windows of opportunity before everyone else reacts. That's why I do those live for you guys. So you have information fresh and new, but also so you can take action. So markets bounced, Wall Street loved it, but here's the truth. People who benefit the most from this moment are not the investors that are in the news. It's homeowners like yourself who have equity and buyers who position themselves early. So mortgage rates don't move in perfect alignment with the Fed. So the fact that we have an improvement doesn't automatically mean yes, we're going to have exactly the decrease in interest rate. But the sentiment does, the feeling, the emotion about it, right? So that moves you, the buyer. So right now, here's what this cut really signals. We are closer to easing than tightening. So that means the market responds to direction, not perfection. Inventory is already thinning because sellers are pulling the listings. So when buyers return in the spring, competition will pick up again. I told that to one of my clients yesterday. Oh, I want to wait for the spring. I'm like, well, that's what everybody goes back to. Homeowners with equity have leverage today. So equity plus a calmer buyer activity that gives you power to upgrade, relocate, or invest before the whole wave of everybody jumping into the market. Our self-employed buyers or investors, they benefit from this stability. Every cut reduces volatility in rates, which makes underwriting and planning smoother. Now, in the background, I actually feel like that creates still volatility when you guys are hearing the market has improved because like, oh, we're locked. Can we go ahead and reduce the rate that we've already locked? We're about to close, but can we get to a lower interest rate? Or rates have improved. Can I do it now? So it creates that volatility, but it makes movements to improve the market. So clients ask me, Christelle, is this the actual bottom line? Well, again, Christelle, not crystal ball. So, and my honest answer is, it doesn't matter what the bottom line is, or the bottom, where this is the bottom, this is where I make the move. What matters is when opportunity appears. And this is one of those moments. So, my question to you is, how would your next step change? Would you be upgrading, investing, or leveraging equity if you knew the market was shifting in your favor instead of against you? Rhetorical question. Ask yourself that question. How would your next step change? How would my next step change by using my equity, investing, or maybe my desire of upgrading because we have a new family member that joined, a newborn, or even another transition, a divorce, or a loss? All of those are steps that require sometimes some changes. So if you knew the market was shifting in your favor instead of against you, what would you be doing? Now, my other question is, what concerns do you still have about moving while things feel uncertain? So if you want to see how this Fed cut actually affects your real numbers, your equity, your actual payments, your buying power, go ahead and send me a message. Let's have a conversation or check my link for my calendar and book a time. Let's connect and we'll run the numbers personalized based on your situation, based on your goals for 2026. Do this now. Don't wait for 2026. Let's engage in the conversation now. I'm available, so book that call. Before I move to topic number 2, this is my pacer. My drinking that cup of coffee gets me, gets everybody moving in the flow, right? But it's also a moment for me to take a breather so you can sit with the questions that I'm asking you. All right, topic number 2. What if the Fed rate, still on the Fed rates, just made your next home much more achievable? Not because rates crashed, but because competition hasn't returned yet. Okay, so the rates conversation, we're not in a market crash, but the competition is not there yet. So since the Fed announced the third rate cut this year, a lot of homeowners think maybe I should wait for one more cut. Maybe there's a little bit more that I can get before I actually make my upgrade. But here's the thing, the Fed also signaled they're divided. So that means they may pause from here. The pause is your window because markets don't wait. Buyers return fast the moment they believe stability is here. And right now, homeowners with equity are standing in one of the rare seasons where rates are easing, inventory is soft, competition is quiet, and their current home has never been worth more than now. This competition combination that doesn't last. So this is your window. Upgrading isn't about timing the lowest interest rate. It's about using the equity that you have during the low competition. I've had conversations with clients, actually, we closed on Tuesday, who had netted about $118,000 from when she bought several years ago. I think she bought in 2021. 118,000. It's good equity. She has a newborn. They upgraded. They used that money, and she did have a lower interest rate than what the current market is. But they used the equity in their home to purchase the new home. So that equity actually helps you in lowering your payments because now when she purchased with a down payment assistance. She gained all that equity. Now she has this new home with the down payment. She actually did a 10% down. She could have done 20, but in our conversation, 10% made more sense. So she can use some of the money to pay off some debts and make the payment still cash flow the same, if not better, as when she had before. So equity that lowers your payment for the next home far more than a smaller rate drop. So having that equity, having the larger down payment versus the actual interest rate that drops by a quarter or drops maybe half. Now, again, your price range will dictate what that improvement is, but that larger down payment definitely helps. So use the equity in your home. That could be by selling your property or using the equity, keeping this property as a rental, the current one, accessing the equity for what you need, doing a line of credit, and now purchasing your next primary residence. So mover buyers can actually also negotiate. This same client who closed on Monday, I'm sorry, on Tuesday, price range over $400,000, had a $10,000 seller concession, and the seller also paid for her closing costs. So she was able to ask for seller credit, seller to pay for her agent's commission because they finally not competing with 10 offers. Back in 2020, when those interest rates were lower, people were competing and bidding over the price of the home. They were waiving home inspections, they were waiving financial contingencies. You are in a gold mine right now of being able to negotiate. So if you're waiting for the perfect time, you might actually miss what's possible. Questions for you. What would an upgraded home change your lifestyle right now? What would an upgraded home change for your lifestyle right now? Is it more space, a better location, a fresh start? For my clients, family moving into a new home with the baby, with the newborn. So, what's your real hesitation? Is it the market? We want to be aware of what's in the background, like holding you back. So, is it hesitation because of the market or because you're not sure of the process? So we want to go ahead and have a conversation, chat with me, book a call with me so we can understand what your equity can do for you in this new Fed environment. And let's run the numbers. If you're a homeowner who's not receiving my home report and you would like to see what your market is doing, feel free to go ahead and join me in join me. Somebody just joined the live and I got a beep. So go ahead and message me so you can get your home report. And with your home report, you can see how your market is moving. But it doesn't remove the one-on-one conversation where I can guide you. So book that call with me. Check my bio and book a call. I'm available. Okay. Topic 3. So the Fed just made investing more predictable. In predictable markets, our investors build wealth. So every investor I've worked with this year has been waiting for one thing, stability. I have some investors who pulled away because it's like the margin of making their profit, their cash flow is not there, Christelle. That's what they say. And one of my real friend who is an investor, same name as my dad, Harry, who calls and is like, yeah, tell me more about those DSCR loans. Tell me more about what I can do to qualify because I'm ready to get back. So they're not looking for the perfect rates or cheap money, just enough clarity to make smart moves and use this window. And with the Fed cutting rates again, while signaling they may pause, we just entered the exact environment investors and self employed buyers thrive in. Stable borrowing costs, sellers still flexible, rent strong, and delisting that's rising. So fewer buyers are competing. So this is where long-term wealth is built quietly. That's why I'm here to tell you. It's the time to chat. So if you are buying, and actually not just chat, but take action, right? We can chat about it and say, well, let me stay and wait, or you can start making action. So I'm here to help you and motivate you in the direction that best support you. You're buying, so for my investors, you're buying cash flow, not headlines, right? The numbers have to make sense. So sellers are negotiating, demands for rentals remains high, equity lines cost less because that's more tied to the Fed cut rate, and DSCR loans often approve when volatility drops. So it's a rare pairing, soft competition and steady rents. For my self-employed buyers, my entrepreneur, you don't need perfect taxes. You need the right structure. Rate cuts help because payment projections stabilize, underwriting becomes smoother, more loan programs become accessible, and you can compare DSCR. So DSCR is for your investor. You cannot occupy this property. And you can do your bank statement loan. You can also do bank statement loan for your primary residence or for investment. And of course, we have our full doc options with that we can chat. So this is now that you want to go ahead and determine what is the best program for me, how much will I need to be putting down, how much of my equity would I need to access. Let's go ahead and put in motion your line of credit so you have that fund so you can pull the trigger. I need to change that language of pulling the trigger. You can move forward with the action. So when the market comes down, documentation becomes easier to work with. And I want you to be ready. Credit, asset, and the property cash flow or your own qualification. So my question to you: what kind of investment or business move would you make if borrowing cost felt steady instead of unpredictable? In unpredictable. Words, Chriselle. What kind of investment or business move would you make if borrowing cost felt steady instead of unpredictable? Another question for you. Would clarity on your actual numbers help you decide if this is the season to move? If so, you know what to do. So book a call with me, check my bio link, and book a call. Let's go ahead and break down your investment options, what the DSCR numbers are, what does that mean? And if you are self-employed, your qualification in today's Fed environment. This is actually my last live with this cup because I am in this property in Sarasota. As you know, I travel, my background's changed, my area changed. So I get to have this last live with this cup. Okay. Topic number 4. If you've been waiting on the sidelines, this Fed cut may be your green light before everyone comes back. I've mentioned that in a few other ones. So if you are on the sideline waiting, this Fed cut can be your green light before everyone comes back. Most people believe rate cuts immediately bring lower mortgages, but that's not how it works. What rate cuts do is bring confidence, and confidence bring competition. So right now, the Fed cut the rates by a quarter again, the third cut this year, but they're divided, and many are wanting to pause. So we may have a pause. That means we are sitting in a moment of early movement before the crowd reacts. Okay. Sideline buyers often miss the early window because they're waiting for the headline that says mortgage rates in the fives, which there are some that I'm able to do in the fives. So depends on your scenario and your situation. But they're waiting for that green light and says in the fives. But when that headline happens and appears, what happens? Inventory disappears, competition spikes, and prices firm up. Your advantage is always before the excitement. Don't be just a follower. Get information and make your move before the crowd jumps. I said that and I had a moment of, you remember when we were running out of toilet paper? Everybody jumped and said, "Hey, I need to go get some." Like, seriously? Don't wait for those moments. So this is what's happening right now. Sellers are pulling listings. They're not doing what realtors call price improvement, which is really improving, lowering the prices. So let me give you some stats. Across Georgia and Florida, thousands of sellers are quietly pulling their homes off the market instead of reducing the price or selling quickly. In the metro Atlanta alone, delisting were up more than 40% compared to last year. That's a big number, 40%. And in parts of Florida like Miami, nearly half of new listings are taken off before they sell. That tells me sellers aren't finding the demand they expected at the current price levels. And that sets up a unique negotiation environment for buyers and equity owners. Because yes, we can focus on wow, 40% are taking their homes off the market or even more in some other areas instead of actually reducing the price. But don't focus on that number. That means you still have a window of opportunity. Which homes are still here? Before they go ahead and remove their properties off the market, let me go ahead and make an offer because they may just be at that brink of, you know what? I'm willing to take that offer. This is your window. This is your opportunity to negotiate. And the buyers, unless you are listening to what I'm sharing with you, they're not really rushing back. They're taking a pause. Let me see what happens. Rates have softened, so they are in the low sixes, maybe some fives. We can see some of those movements, but they're not perfect. But that's definitely workable. This is definitely not in the sevens. So you have negotiating power today that may disappear the minute the spring market wakes up and makes its movement. So this is the season where prepared buyers win quietly. So are you going to be the prepared buyer that will win, or are you going to be the one reacting? We want to respond. There are FUDs, wow, feds. And I'm actually aware of some of what I say because, like, when I read the caption back, I'm like, wow, Christelle, with your accent plus you distorting some of those words. Okay. So, this is the season where prepared buyers win quietly. You get to decide, I am the buyer who will win quietly, or am I the one who's going to be reacting and say, oh, let me go ahead and do this now? Don't wait. And those are my questions for you, my two questions. What's the real fear holding you back? Is it the payment, the uncertainty, or the fear of making a mistake? Life is all about a lesson. So let's fail forward if necessary. If after the fact we look like, wow, I failed forward, but that doesn't mean you will fail, right? That means you're taking a step with education, looking at the numbers, the best thing you can do based on the information holding me back. Is it the mortgage payment? Is it my fear because I'm not certain and it's something to be sure of? Or is it your fear of making a mistake? Is it in the background? I will call it the ego, a parent that's talking in the back of your head. It's like, you're going to fail. Don't let that stop you. Book a call with me. Let's chat. Let's overcome your fears. Doesn't mean you have to do anything except getting clarity. Gaining clarity. Second question. What becomes possible for you if we actually run the numbers and see what buying now actually looks like using that equity? So I have this scenario, this client who is in Miami. She bought her house 2021, has over $800,000 in equity. But in the midst of the property value going up, guess what else goes up? Property taxes. Property taxes going up. $33,000 in property taxes a year. Insurance, flood, hurricane, probably about 10,000. I'm not sure exactly that number. We haven't, she needed to check again. So that payment is tremendously high, but she's sitting on $800,000 of equity. Say, well, Christelle, but if she takes that money, buys another property, that's what the prices are right now. So this is where we get to determine what's your long-term goal. You've gained this equity. You've gained this profit. Are you going to cash it in to move to your next step? Or are you going to feel stuck? And this is where it's not a right or wrong. It's let's look at the numbers, let's put it on the table, and let's determine what is next for you 2026. Now is the time to do that. So, like my this client who's a friend of the long since I've been actually been in the market in the mortgage industry for 25 years. We've known each other and we are in this conversation. I'll be happy to be in this conversation with you. So book a call. So if you're on the sideline, if you want clarity before the market shifts again, go ahead, book that call. Link in the bio. And we'll go ahead and map out your buying powers in today's numbers. So yes, this conversation has been around the Fed, how it's impacting you, how it's could be an amazing opportunity. Definitely, the Fed rates doesn't equal exactly mortgage rates movements because we get a feeling of what things going to happen. So some adjustments are already made. So best thing, connect with your realtor, financial advisor, and your lender. Okay, Sacred Home with Christelle. All right, so this is the part that I've covered the four topics, and now we go into the mystical. And this is where I say we'll get grounded. What does that mean? We get grounded. I was grounded, but this is really the process of that mystical moments. Mystical really is really getting into your body, getting into not just the noise around, not just Christelle's voice, what she shares, but what's really there for you. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with myself and with the collective, meaning the energy. And by the way, if this is too woo for you, you can drop off now. Not offended. Everybody's on their path. But if you're curious, stay. Ask questions. Message me. Okay. Deep breath in. The way I like to do this actually is activating the magnetic fields on your hands, the energy, and bring it to your heart. What is my topic now? And what comes up is a practice for each one of us. When I hear a message, when I hear the headlines or I read the headlines, I feel the pressure. Wow, Christelle is telling me right now is a time to have a conversation. What kind of pressure do you feel? Is it an excitement? Is it fear? So you get to check into your body, not just the head, bring it into your heart, or just be looking outside. Why am I feeling this? And when I say looking outside or looking at my cup, it's really a moment of focus in this time present moment. How am I feeling with this whole conversation? And this is a practice for yourself in general. I just had a board meeting. I just had a company meeting. I just had a kids meeting with the after school program, whatever conversation it is. When you walk away from that conversation, when you walk away from that environment, getting into your car after a meeting or networking, whatever it is, this is a great opportunity for you to sit with it. What do I get from this conversation? What's there for me? And I'm hearing, yeah, but I got to get to the next meeting because we're in the rush, right? So maybe at the end of the day, we have this practice in my coaching group with Tiffany Rose that when we close, when we say the end of the day, it could be the end of your business hours before you turn the computer off. How was my day? Maybe journal it. Maybe even use your chat GPT and press that button and say, I want to recap my day, right? And this is a way of having interaction and say, I want you to be honest with me because you wanted to be honest with yourself. So what I'm saying right now is anything that's shared with you, anything I just shared, although it's coming from my heart, it's coming from my intention of bringing light, bringing love, bringing opportunity to connect. You get to discern. And how do we do discernment? It's going within. I know I'm hearing right now, Well, you just said to use ChatGPT. Okay, this is if you instead of calling a friend that will give them their extra stuff about things, that could be a neutral place. But in reality, even a conversation with ChatGPT is a discernment for you. So I place my hand on my heart, I open the other one, or I just go in prayer mode. I feel like prayer mode is also closing a little bit of the field. I like to open it up. Guide me. From what I just heard and what Christelle is talking about right now, where does it land with me? What new practice or what new way, what new becoming, what possibility are there? So the message is discernment, checking in with your body. How does it feel? Do I feel expanded? Meaning, wow, this is opening up for me. Do I feel contracted? Ooh, what is that tied to? So you check in the possibilities. Some of you may actually take your journal. I have my book right there and start journaling, start writing what's there for you. Again, this is inner work. And I'm saying that because today is 12/11. We are in the year of the nine, the year of completion. Again, I did say it was going to be mystical, right? So I allow whatever comes through of what to share. You may be like, what? Nine? Completion? What is that? This is an opportunity before tomorrow, 12/12, which is another door to another level of mysticality, really letting go of what no longer serves. And the intention, as you peel off the onion, is to go to the core. And as we peel the onion, we may have those tears, right? But you gladly removing and peeling to get to the core. The core is your essence. The core is a discovery of truly what moves me, what inspires me, what gets me into the excitement of who I am, or disappointment of who I am. But it gives with that awareness, I'm disappointed, but it's a judgment. But I get to clear that judgment. Don't be afraid of doing the work because on the other side is freedom, is discovery of self, is new possibility, is authenticity. I continuously do the work. And what is the work? Let's remove the word work. I do the alignment, like aligning to my divine presence, aligning to beauty, beauty of life. Not every day I wake up feeling beauty of life and I'm in my judgment. Like, okay, got to clear this. Why? Because I set the tone in the morning of how the rest of the day is going to be. That doesn't remove hurdles, struggles, challenges, but we want all of them, the hurdle, the challenge, the love, everything, because as we are facing them, we are releasing, we are completing. Nine, the year of the nine is completion. You want to complete as much as possible with the current energy, the current vibration, because it's actually helping us even more. When we align to the current energy and vibration, if it's for expansion, then we grow, we release, grow, and move towards what? Our heart. The physical heart, the soul, all those aspects of it. So, thank you for joining me, for listening as I share from the core of my divine presence that keeps on evolving. And if it resonates with you, awesome. If it doesn't, let it go. It's as easy. It's a switch. If it does resonate with you, or even if it doesn't, I welcome your messages. Um, my intention is to allow my authenticity to shine through. I am a beacon of light, and I am moving as I am being guided. And that is that alignment that I keep on stepping towards. So I invite you to step towards your own alignment. My alignment is different from yours. My path is one direction. But I invite you to receive your messages with clarity, discernment, and whatever feels tight, not just that, but specifically that, surrender it. And there are so many conversations about what surrendering is. It's really with our words that we create. So just voicing, I am surrendering this situation. I am surrendering my hurts, my pain. Show me how to move from there. That's an easy step of surrendering. Again, thank you for being in this moment with me. Coffee with Christelle. And have a fantastic Thursday. If it interests you, look up what is 1212. Even if it's a meditation to center yourself, to be in pure alignment with divine presence. Thank you.